Okay. Yeah, let's roll. Um Hello? If you're watching, thanks for watching. I'm gonna try to do a tutorial on drawing from a photo, and we're gonna do Thor from Marvel Rivals. Um, so I'm gonna flip this light a little bit. And go to it. Okay, so using I want to do some heads because I need to work on my heads and faces. And I wanted to do the study of Thor from Marvel Rivals because I liked the way they do the heads or do the faces. I'll show you the picture here in 2 seconds. This anyway, that's the picture. I'm gonna leave it. Do I want to leave that right there? Lay my picture down so it's not in the way. Okay. On my phone, I actually flipped this. I flipped it so it's the other way. But okay. So when we start to draw, whether it be, and I'm kind of doing this as like so I can break the video into pieces and like turn it into other things. So yeah, so I might pretend like I'm not talking to you guys, like I'm just making a video. So in art there are a variety of ways, or in drawing, let's put it in drawing, there are a variety of ways to actually do drawing. Several different methods. There's drawing shapes of light, there's contours, using what I call odd shapes, and then slowly add planes and edges as you like bring it into more refinement. But you gotta have a good base to start with. I like that analogy that it's like chunking away piece, looking for angles, and hopefully you can see this. I'm gonna use some charcoal because I'm gonna paint this in another video. So I'm gonna use charcoal. Hopefully it's dark enough for you guys to see it. As we progress further, you'll be able to see it for sure. So, and I'll use darker marks because this erase is really easy. So looking at this picture, I've cropped it a little bit because, like I said, I kind of want to focus on his head. I always try to look for when you're looking at stuff, there's always the center of things. And so I always try to like look for the center of things and give that a good placement. And for me in this drawing, we'll use his, like, the center's kind of his nose, or like we'll just get our center in there. Now this also becomes like a line of motion, and depending on what you're doing, you can go along this and change this. Here's the center line. I'm gonna give a little delete there. Kind of maybe just more as a starting mark. Looking at this, that's gonna be his head. I'm gonna look at that line, measure that hair.
Your video was ended.
Oh, really?
Live video ended.
On what?
Instagram.
Oh. Okay. Whatever then. Oh, you know what I should do?
What?
I need to put this into. I think it's still going. Your phone.
I don't know. It won't let me. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I might have made that too big, and that's okay. So we got the hair. This part of it can be is very much gesture. You're trying to get those shapes and get those angles of lines that you see. You're drawing lightly, going over those edges. Contour drawing is going over the contour of something, like the outside edge. So contour drawing really helps you helps you to shape form. It can help you to once you start to understand form and you can go along the contour of something, you can begin to see shapes three-dimensionally. And so with contour, like we'll use his head for an example. We have this back part done. I can find the line for that part in his hair. Mimics this. These are wrong. So like I can see when I'm contour drawing, I can see that his hair goes across. Yeah, comes down, goes across. Here's his. Do this headpiece, and like honestly, I even messed up because I actually should have. Like I'm not. Yeah, I got too detailed. That's fine. We can get these broad shapes. Does that line up about? Like this. Like here's like we didn't put like we could have put it. We should have put his beard in. So here, right? No, out further. Like here. This piece of chest piece here, which means his head's like here, beard, like the beard itself, like that line. This comes up. His hair. Yeah, that's too close. I made that too big. Let's try again. Let's start over. Let's just fucking start over. Okay. Okay. One of the ways I like to draw, I'm just straight up starting over. One of the ways that I like to draw is by observing what I'm drawing. So if I'm drawing from a photo or I'm drawing from nature or from a model, I like to take a minute and observe the object. Take some time out to look at your reference and see what you can see. See where big shapes are. See how it's set up. Look at different contours. Just take a minute and observe what you're looking at. That helps so much because it puts you in the mindset of what you're doing, like what you're drawing. And it may help you to like visualize how you're going to transfer that onto your canvas or whatever you're working on. There are a variety of ways to draw, but I always find that when I am using edges and just describing shape, that my drawings turn out the best. I think this is one of the fundamentals of drawing, is you have to build a solid foundation on your canvas or on your paper, and then from that solid foundation you can bring it up into different levels of detail. Your understanding of the forms become better as well. So knowing that, after kind of looking at this, I can kind of see what I want to see in how I want to arrange this or copy this. I am gonna just try to work on big shapes at first. So honestly, it's very much like out. That might be two. Is that two? No, that's about right. this. So this would be like by the corner of his head, down to his hair, the breastplate or the pauldrons, and then his arm. Okay. I can't see all of his head. Wait. Oh my god. Kind of tiny head. A lot of this is the head is tinier, but everything else is a little bit larger. I'm not gonna do that quite yet. That might be a little bit too big shape here, going to the other corner of of his helmet, coming down, shoulder, which is kind of in line. We're gonna move this a little bit. What I like about starting here is it's like Michelangelo and sculpture. You're taking this cube of granite and gonna carve something out of it. We're going to, if you do that, you're gonna start with broader outlines and silhouettes, and then we're gonna chip away at this as we go to pull out that form from this block of canvas that we chunked out. This line's horrible. Let's get rid of that so it doesn't mess me up. Okay. This is basic, and then as we're going to continue to just refine this. I'm going to start at the corner of his helmet on this side. Like, that's a good starting point, and we'll kind of start basing everything off of this. We'll use this as a reference, and then we'll get to different areas, and what we can do is continue to use each of these areas as reference to each other so that we can stay in somewhat proportion. And but it comes down, and then his hair's like this. Is that the right angle? A little bit more this way. Here, hair, head, up here. Goes this to the back. Let's see if that close. Come down. Hair, helmet. Yeah. Look for those. Continue to look for larger shapes. Try not to it's super easy to get stuck into detail, and don't get that. Don't be that. Don't get stuck in those details. Still continue to look for the big shapes. Using this big shape, we're gonna break it down a little bit more. So looking at his head, let's get that in. Here's the helmet. Head? Is that the right angle? No. Maybe more this way. Okay. We got this that comes down. I actually think this would be so far out here, so it would come down this way. But we do kind of have this angle for the top of his hair that comes this way. Okay. And then we get this. Let's do the edge to edge of that shoulder pad. And that shoulder pad starts about here. Yeah. Okay. Let's get the angle of that shoulder pad. Okay. That can help me. Let's see if that looks. That does look fairly right. This can help me decide, like, this bottom part of this of his beard comes here, comes up. I might have to move this over a little bit, but that's okay. Hair goes down to here. Angle of that other shoulder pad. It's in line with a little bit above. Goes this way. Probably here. Here. It's got some depth, so okay. I don't think that's right. No, we good. See how I'm just looking at bigger shapes. Coming down. Here's something to think about, and this is something I think that, like, my art, okay. When you think about things, that you're drawing, make sure you look at, too, like, things have thickness. Not everything is just a solid flat. A matter of fact, very few things are. So, in this specific case, his shoulder pauldrons have depth to them. And this is where I think some of my art lacks, and that would make me better is if I'm realizing that it has depth. So if I put out this, if that's the top of the shoulder pad, I need to realize if this is the top of the shoulder pad, right? Is that what we're deciding? Yeah, I think that's what we're deciding. That then it goes down before it actually would then touch his chest or touch his next layer of clothes. So it has depth. It becomes almost, it's a very simple shape of, oh look, it's all these shapes put together, and it becomes like a flat, like, piece of clay. Same with that. Same with this circle is, yep, it's a circle, but it's raised. So it needs that depth created by that raise. Same like this. Like those circle bits are just like pieces of circles laid on top of each other. See, I think I like where this is going. I think let's kind of look at proportions again. We're still good with that being the cool. Here's the head. I don't know if that actually might. I'm just gonna stick with it. Okay. Now again, for his head, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna try to look for big shapes. I'm gonna try to align those shapes up. Going back. I see that there's a circle here. I don't see what else is. Oh yeah, it comes down. It comes down. That then comes into this shape, which is nice. Not that angle though. That's not the right angle. And then this is this. Okay. Swoop. It doesn't quite line up with the bottom of that, so let's keep that a little bit smaller. But it's all based off that circle. This may not look exactly like it by the end, but we'll have something to work on. Plus, I wanted to work on heads, like, so see, we're still looking at big shapes. I'm not sure. That might actually be good. I think we could actually scoot this in, which sucks. That was drawn so well, but I think we can pull that in a little bit. I think that's too large. But same thing, like, so it goes behind his neck, but it comes out. This is the bottom part of it, around his chest. Here's the edge to describe that thickness, and then here's the plane, the contour, and then this circle with depth added as well. Circle on circle on circle. This headpiece comes this way. Let's just continue to look for those big shapes so we don't get too confused. Circle, a little bit of a bump for that. Comes up. This is where it gets sharp. Sharp. That might be two. Nah. Okay. And we may go back. We'll go up to this pauldron. We kind of know where it's at. I think this looks good. We know we got his neck. Ooh, that doesn't look quite right. That should be like here. Let's check that angle a little bit. Yeah. So we'll change this slightly. Here's his neck. Here's his shirt. Here's the back part of his. Here's part of his neck as well. His hair comes down off his neck. We got this. This is a good start. So see, again, you can still see where we have those beginning marks, like here and here, and there's this. But as we kind of start to go back through this and refine things that we see and just make it more in line, like we'll change it a little bit, and like this will eventually just go away. We can erase that and erase this. And honestly, at some point we'll get this built, and then we'll take an eraser and go over the top of it and erase it. It will still leave mark that you can see that you can then build over the top of to just continue to refine. So we're just gonna keep working on putting all these shapes in here. I'm liking that so far. I do like how this is shaped, as in, like, you can see, like, there's a clear line right here on his shoulder that you can use. His hammer would be here. I don't know. I don't know if I want to put his hammer in. I just wanted to kind of focus on the head. And the armor and clothes. You know, a lot of people may say, like, the concept of drawing from a reference and drawing from photos has been around since the dawn of art. Almost all great artists have copied from the previous generation. If you can imagine what it was like before the advent of the internet, you didn't have access to images like we do now. So being an art student, you would go to art school and you would spend time drawing from a live model, drawing from life, but then also going to museums and drawing from the painters before you, and that would help teach you. So the idea of like not using reference and not drawing photos that you like to learn from them is complete nonsense. You should. It's a practice. Do it. It is practice though. Like and even the old masters and the generations before them didn't say, oh look, this is what I did when it was a copy. They sold those copies because then also at that time, if you can imagine, there's no printing press, there's no internet to transfer images. Like if someone painted something, that was the only one. But making copies, then they would go and like then more people could have copies of those. So copying is not bad. And what you're inevitably trying to do is learn how to make things look the way you want they need to look. And then taking all of those things that you've learned while you were copying and then putting them into something of your own. I think the more you draw, the better you'll get, and the quicker it will happen. You got to draw a lot. Just like in anything, it is a practiced skill. Which means that you're not going to be fantastic when you first start. But if you work hard enough and study enough, you will get to where you want to be. You know, it's a bummer in this day and age with AI and everything that maybe you get good, but maybe you won't ever get good enough to make a living from it. And that's okay as well. There is an inherent joy in doing this and learning it, that there is no value. You can't put a price tag on that. I seen a really cool quote where it was, how do I know I'm a real artist? And it was like basically saying it's not when you make money from it, it's when you do it, even if you don't make money from it. So and there is also that idea of it's great as a hobby, but if you had to pursue it as a business, because art is business, maybe it would kill any love that you had for it. Yeah, I'm liking it. See how I'm just going through and just continuing to like look at the form. I'm looking at planes. I'm looking at the angles of things and the planes of things to find out where it needs to go. where edges need to go. I like that we're gonna see some of that fur because I want to work on fur. That's cool. You can tell I'm avoiding his face, but I'll build there. I'll get there. I wish this was more. I don't think that's quite right. I think it's okay. No, I'm gonna go. Now I'll do his face. Since I said it, let's work on that. So, same thing though. I'm still gonna break this into shapes. Like, when I look and observe this, I can see from that center is kind of his nose. And I'm just gonna put this in lightly. Yeah, so here's his nose. It does don't get too detailed. It does kind of have an angle to it. Comes back. I'm not looking at that little dent in there. I'm just looking at this. Okay, there we go. Following the contour, we go up the nose bridge. A little bit of shadow there. That eyebrow just is kind of like straight off that. His eyebrow would be like there and then go underneath his helmet.
Good night.
Good night. You want me to sleep on the couch?
Pause your thing. Can you pause that?
No, you can't pause that.
Oh, okay. It's up to you. I don't feel good though. I think I'm gonna call your mom and let her know I'm not coming in.
Word. Do I need to go in for you?
I don't know.
If we haven't been busy, there's not a lot of...
No, we made pasta. We made 12 batches today. I think we're pretty far ahead.
Yeah, I would say so. Okay, cool. I'm sorry you don't feel good.
It's okay.
Let's lower that a little bit here. I like that I looked at this part of his helmet to see that, you know, how those if this looks like this over here, how does that angle this way? And you can see it gets so foreshortened and cut that distance. Let's do his beard from that nose coming off of this side of his face. And then coming down here. And then angle in this way. Coming off here. I'm gonna sharpen this real fast. And I broke it. Continue. The mustache I'm just doing this shape of that V coming down. Edge of his beard. cool. His eyes might be a little big, but actually this might be a little too large. Doesn't quite line up. Almost like his nose needs to be up a little bit more. Or this just needs to be over more. His nose needs to be shorter. That's why this is all black. His nose is too long. That is the one thing good about charcoal, is it erases really easy. So let's try that again. Let's do this, this, that shape, that shape. Then it comes down. Then it comes down. Yeah. I don't hate that. And let's put his hair in here. Again, we're just gonna let's just go back to the doing big shapes. Oh, that's way wrong. What the fuck? This could be a little bit smaller, a little bit more defined. Yeah, because that comes in there. So you'll see as you use, like, as we broke that down, when I go to do some of these other details, I begin, like, everything starts to match up, and it's easier for me to do these details. Um, we did make a mistake because this was too big, so we kind of have to redraw this. But you know what? That's okay. Because here's the other thing that I don't think a lot of people, that isn't like well known is, and I get stuck in this one as well, is I will have a really good, I'll get like a really good drawing, and then like I won't want to mess that drawing up. Um, or I'll be like, oh well, I already drew that, so you can't draw it again. Draw it again. Like if you have to erase and draw it again, draw it again. Because what you're doing is you're just making a more informed decision of what you're drawing, and so if you redo it and it gets better, then you just got better. Like you began to understand what it is that was wrong in the first place, and then you fixed it. Like so don't be afraid to erase and do it again. See, and I can already tell. What's nice is I already had something like, yeah, that wasn't right, but it wasn't right because I just needed to move it over. So now I moved it over, and it's still reading well. It's still where it needs to be. I just moved it over. But now it fits him better. Heck yeah, man. Let's get that. This edge. Kind of doesn't. It has this sharp turn, but that part doesn't. There's this. Cool. I'm liking that so far. There's more. This is sitting on like a belt, but that's okay. We're not gonna do that. I don't know. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. I was gonna say maybe his hair is too far back. It might be a little bit. Like, what if it was? Okay. I don't necessarily like his eye. I do, but I don't. I do like, let's go back in and let's work on that nose a little bit. Because I know that's... So, how do you draw a nose? A nose is a shape. It's got a top plane, and then it's got planes that go down. The nostril, this very much can become like a circle or a diamond. Diamond is a nice shape that helps tell you like where, because of the way this is oriented, you won't see the other side of the nostril. There's this plane going across the cheek, the eyelid. Oh yeah, no, I'm liking that. That looks like an old man Thor to me. Yeah, I don't like that eye. I think the reason I don't like that eye is I think it's too big. I think it gets inset, and then I think it's just not as big as I think it is. that doesn't seem right either. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, no. Comes up a little bit more like that. Cool. I see. We're just at this point, just continuing to refine what we have laid down. Adding more shapes, defining things a little bit. I like that. Before we kind of, because we're gonna do something scary next. And then let's erase some of these lines. I like that a lot. I like that it's just a headshot, fucking big old massive armor, his shirt, some fur. I do kind of want to put that blue circle in. More. See, that goes off. I don't necessarily like that flies off a little bit, but that's okay. So next, okay, so now let's do something scary. So I'm gonna actually take my kneaded eraser, which is this, and I'm gonna flat it. I'm gonna warm it up a little bit. They like to be warm. And I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna roll it over the. There we go. Okay, so what I've done is I've lightened up the drawing. And I'm gonna sharpen this pencil. Now go over the top of this and make finaler decisions and maybe add some shading into it as well. So I like that hair. And now what I'm doing is I'm gonna just start doing more of the detail in this. Using what's already laid down, I can start adding detail and being a little bit more confident of how this should look. You know, this is coming down. Creating this shadow on that side of the face. It's got depth. So this is tricky because this thing is so thin. But it's important to have it still. You can even see like the inside of it. That's crazy. There's those lines. It comes up like this. This comes up like this. His nose. You know, one of the things I like to do when I do studies is as I'm doing it, also realizing that I don't have to slave over it. Once I get it to some kind of point like this, I can start still using the reference, but also adding things that maybe are my own, that I understand, or that I want to change on this, that I maybe things that I don't like, or Like his beard, I like beards. I know how to do a beard. Same with the hair too. Like, yeah, it's great that I have this, um, and I do want to kind of pay attention to it a little bit, but I also do kind of understand how hair works. Yeah. And see how I just kind of go next area to next area? I'll come back to this, but you know, keep going, go along, and just keep getting as you add more and more. Just go out in a spiral. You get stuck, start somewhere else, and start the spiral all over again. I like the idea of taking this to maybe not completely super refined, but like where there is shadows are like described. What'll be nice is because I'm using this charcoal, we'll have some nice blacks, and some nice values that then when I go to paint this, you'll be able to see some of that coming through. It almost acts as an underpainting. What time is 8:15? There is also any tool that you can find that makes your life easier, use it. I have a circle tool, but I don't think I have an ellipse tool. No, I don't think I have an ellipse tool. Yeah, it looks like he has headphones. That's cool. What is that, a triangle? I kind of want to pay attention to this metal because I kind of suck at painting metal, and I paint a lot of things that are metal, so I need to get better at it. I think that more. Nice. How's that look on the stream? I'm gonna take a smoke break. And I'm back. Yes. Yeah, I'm not putting the hammer in. I like that a lot. That fur is just okay. Cool. This hair has hair right here. Let's kind of do that up, but I'm gonna do it my own way. That's not a bad looking Thor. Instead of this circle, I'm gonna do this circle. Yeah, that's nice. Cool. Okay. Well, that looks really good. Tomorrow we will start painting this. What I'll do now is I'll probably continue to work on this and just add more shadows and spots. Add more values. Yeah, maybe I'll just leave it. I do know, like, here. I know these are going to be super dark. Yeah. Make this piece look more like her here. Yeah. There's a shadow under his nose, which I think would help kind of define that a little bit more. Nice. Cool. Let's call that good. Okay, if you tuned in and watched tonight, thank you so much. Tomorrow we'll paint this sucker.